Good afternoon. Welcome to the Thurston County Board of County Commissioners check-in for Monday, October 21st, 2024. It's 2:04 p.m. My name is Ty Menser, Chair of the Board. I'm Vice Chair Commissioner Fournier, Commissioner Mejia, Commissioner Edwards, Commissioner Klaus. We have County Manager Leonard Hernandez and Assistant County Manager Rob Gelder. And this meeting is live streamed, correct? The YouTube channel, so public can tune in there. I don't have my agenda with me, so I don't know if there's something up first. Good, thank you. Okay, first up is reports on external boards and commissions. Commissioner, anyone want to make an external board?
I'll make it real quick.
Go ahead, Commissioner Edwards.
AAA, senior group that I sit on,
Yes.
finishing up on budget negotiations with labor negotiations. It's kind of tough go this time around. A little more so than normal.
What are the employees that you're?
Yeah, all their home health people.
Oh, okay.
Calling on folks that need assistance, seniors. Anyway, just mention that's, you know, I'm sure we're not the only ones that have tough budget times.
Are you aware, Commissioner Edwards, of a forum tomorrow night at Olympia Senior Center? Has something to do with Area Agency on Aging or disability issues. One of the members of the agency had reached out, and I didn't quite understand the event.
Is it?
I thought you might be aware of it.
Remember Eileen McKenzie?
Yeah.
Is she involved in that? She's on our volunteer portion of our advisory group.
No.
I don't have it on my book.
Okay.
And
I'm just checking. Somebody from there reached out and said they were having a legislative forum tomorrow, and would I participate? But I don't know what that means to participate, because I'm not sure what they're doing. But we're still bird dogging it. So okay.
I'll ask if I come up with something. When is it?
Tomorrow at 5:30.
Okay.
At the Olympia Senior Center. Commissioner Mejia or Fournier? Klaus? Nope.
Attended the Thurston Thrives Elected Officials Council meeting, and I guess for that, you know, it was Commissioner Edwards and Commissioner Menser were there, but there was this really good presentation. Our public health director presented, and she did a great job. But then they did a presentation on social media and the impact that it's having on youth, and it was such a great presentation. And especially as we're talking about, I'm not sure if you all saw the Parents Under Pressure report that came out from the general surgeon. And we're talking about all these things, right? And how they have this congruity and it's just, you know, I'm thinking maybe it's a worthwhile discussion at the Board of Health. Let's see, attended intercity transit, things to report from there. We're going to be holding interviews for CAC candidates. There were 14 applicants, and there are 7 vacancies. So, and then we are, Don Melnick, who's been a long-time member, is retiring in December. So we're also holding interviews for the authority board. So there were so many great applicants, and it's going to be a really good group. Other than that, we just got the federal report from a lobbyist, and they're going through a design and construction services for the Amtrak restroom renovation. So as you all know, that's a volunteer-run station, and they have done a lot of the work that has gone into it, and the restroom included is kind of like one of those shoddy areas, and so Intercity is helping out with that. Other than that, I attended the election symposium that was held in Tilley Road, and our emergency management staff did such a great job on that, and making sure that everyone was informed, and we had really good participation from all of the regional partners, which is really good. And it just thankful for the auditor's office, emergency management, for bringing that group together and kind of helping everyone be prepared and have their answers, questions on what to do if something goes awry. Other than that, I do have things, but I did attend the signature verification training for the canvassing board, and that one was interesting. But
Pretty good, isn't it?
yeah, it was pretty good.
I saw former IT board chair and citizen representative Ryan Warner
Yeah?
at the Sounders game on Saturday.
Oh, you did?
Saturday night. It's been cool.
Saw you went there.
He was one section over. It's like, Ryan, he is Mr. Sounder. I had a question for you also about, just the youth thing at Thurston Thrives. I thought that was, so you're suggesting to put that as a Board of Health presentation maybe?
I think so. I mean, and I think it can be connected with the parents under pressure, like, because I know staff have been working on kind of that angle, right? And just how it all connects with, and this is something I know that at Partners for Children and Families, we've like discussed social media, but just having that presentation, I thought it's been.
Yeah, I
very
learned
good.
not to give people.
I learned that, I didn't know.
Would not have known that.
I don't want to know.
If you're dealing with someone quite a bit younger than us, be careful about giving them a separate thumb up emoji. It communicates something you may not
Well,
intend.
I informed you about a different emoji on the farm tour. There was a box of certain vegetables.
That's right. All right.
I'll follow up with Jen. Not the last part.
Not the last part.
Okay, any other?
I attended Newmarket Skills Center's staff retreat and board work session and kind of talked to them about workforce training and talked about finding ways to align with their future goals. And I think there will be more discussions that we could have at the county commission level to kind of learn about where they want to go and what their goals and visions are that is exciting and important to us. I also attended the signature verification training. And then on Friday, went to the STEADY meeting, which was held down at the Lucky Eagle Casino. It's always a good meeting to go to. The South County Leadership meeting, I did not attend. I left
I
that to
stuck around for
Commissioner
it,
Edwards.
just so I said I would,
Okay.
but at the same time, I was getting a lot of questions from a few other folks, and it only lasted for a few minutes.
Okay,
And Matt was in attendance with
Okay.
the mayor from Tenino and somebody from EDC, I think. So
Okay.
it was a pretty small meeting. I can't report on any
yeah.
movement they had.
And then the Three Cities meeting I attended with the county manager and Commissioner Mejia. At that, we talked about various city-specific things. There was a lot of talk and questions about the estuary ILA. There was talk about joint animal services. And it was Mayor Dante Payne's birthday, so we congratulated him on that. And was there anything else that wasn't city-related? That it was mostly those two things.
Talked about
The appointment for the,
Public facility
the public
district?
facilities,
Yeah.
yes, that appointment.
Yeah,
And kind of the reasoning behind why they chose, or they're sticking with their original applicant, which was Troy Kirby. And so the mayor of Tumwater asked, basically about the process and how the process works. And Mayor Ryder said that there's currently a county representative, an Olympia representative, and he wanted a Lacey representative, but the other two applicants were from Olympia, and so that's how they landed with.
they said they anticipated another at-large position becoming vacant, and so there was a request that a process review be done about how people are nominated, and so the mayor of Lacey said that would be facilitated and discussed.
there was also talk about the Olympia Worker Bill of Rights, the opioid abatement process, and then kind of a roundtable about anticipated future ballot measures from each jurisdiction.
Is there any talk about Olympia and like a levy lift or something like that?
Yeah, they said that they were gonna be discussing that. They didn't give any specifics. And then when we talked about the anticipated future ballot measures, the county, from our perspective, we talked about facility needs, and then pushed the idea of, when we talk about our facilities, putting together like a joint conversation to talk about regional justice and a regional justice center, something that Olympia electeds kept nudging us about, saying they're very eager to have that conversation.
Okay. I don't think any of my external committees had anything that the board would need to hear about. I did the TCD, the Conservation District tour, which is cool. Went to the Deschutes River Preserve. We went to someplace in a private farm in Rochester. We went to Bucota and saw the community gardens that they're working on with Conservation District funding. Anyway, and I
So a
guess,
couple of different aspects than what we hit on.
yeah, they concluded with the River Bend Ranch. I skipped on that one since I did it twice.
in the last 2
So
weeks.
like 3 times is a little much, but the rest of it was really good, so. I think I mentioned this to county manager, but you said you were having a meeting with Sarah Moorhead. Did that meeting take place yet?
No, it hasn't taken place, but we are getting together.
Because their rates and charges, I think, need addressing by the county, and so,
Yeah, that's on the agenda to
so
discuss.
hopefully we can get that, make sure it's squared away.
Conservation District things.
Yeah. We did 5 years back in 2019, Commissioner. So back up, 5 years went fast. Okay, well, I'll just leave the rest of it. A lot of community events I've been at, but nothing to really report on boards. That takes us to Commissioner items, and we have the Indigent Public Defense Standards Letter up next.
Could I do one follow-up
Yeah.
before, because I was at Steady too.
Yeah.
And, I wasn't aware that the Chehalis tribe was putting on an opioid clinic to the extent that they're doing.
Yeah, we went and toured it last year, Commissioner Mejia and I did.
Yeah, I mean, but it's substantial. They were planning on doing 60 or something, and
Yeah.
now they're,
It was, yeah, they said they were expecting around 60
300?
patients a month, and they were now going through like 300.
300 or
Yes.
some crazy
Where's the
thing.
location again?
It's
At
93rd,
99?
93rd.
Where the gas station is.
Where the gas station is.
Where the
right
there's a
behind.
marijuana store there and a gas station. Anyway, I know on Friday, we're having an opioid, symposium or something over at the Lacey Center. It's,
Through public health.
is that something through public health? Is it?
No, for sure.
Linda's over there shaking
Yes,
her
it is.
head.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not up on it. Anyway, are they in the mix with that discussion that's continuing? Is the Chehalis tribe represented there?
I'm not sure.
I mean, they're doing more than
Right.
we're doing, I think, so.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a company that runs the clinic.
Yeah.
So they, the Chehalis tribe built a building, and then they contract with a company.
But they're taking all comers, it sounds like.
Yeah, for sure. But it's like, it's a firm that they contract with to run the facility that is very much in that industry. So
and they pay that firm with what funding?
money that comes in, I'm sure, and
And their
probably grants and
business
things like
operations
that.
and stuff.
I don't know, I was surprised that I didn't know.
No,
But I probably missed
I'm
it.
with you. We've heard a lot about the Nisqually facility. I
Yeah.
drive by it all the
Yeah,
time.
and then the
And it's
Nisqually
and it's being
facility's gonna
built
be
and
the
it's
biggest.
right around the corner,
So-
but then at the same time, here's this other thing that's like up and going and I
And
didn't
they
quite
have a
even know
mobile
about it.
clinic
The mobile clinic is
that
cool.
goes, and it'll be like downtown Olympia just this next week, and it's a big RV that is really impressive.
Maybe you and I should take a tour of it, because
It's-
they offered it and I was ready to see
Yeah, I
it.
mean,
It's worth looking
It's
at.
worth looking at. It's really
besides
nice.
that, I think they ought to get adequate recognition and maybe with the Board of Health even, should be at least aware. I don't know if the Board of Health is aware of it or not, so. It's pretty substantial when you're helping that many folks. And then
And
the
they
Squally
bus
tribe,
people.
like you say.
So like they have vans that'll go pick people up, take them to the
Yeah.
93rd location. And
So,
What is the, thing on Friday?
The opioid response forum?
Yeah, we'll have, the team forward the email, but it is something put on by public health. We'll send it out to you just as soon as the meeting's done. You want to speak to it?
Oh, no, I had a constituent actually ask me if I was attending this, and I think that was the first I heard of it, unless I missed it. in
it's
one of
like
our
an
meetings.
all-day thing, though, I mean.
Yeah,
that's
it's
the problem.
from 9:30 to 4 at the Lacey Community Center.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I was surprised that it was actually yesterday I had a constituent ask if I was
But
going.
we are represented through the Board of Health, or through the Health Department, I suppose,
Yeah.
right?
I can
Public
see
health.
why I-
Yeah.
Just too many things going on
Too
all the
many
same
things.
time.
No, but I'm with you on that. I was surprised and really impressed.
yeah, the work they're doing is impressive.
So it was good to hear that.
And I just hate to see them do all that
It was
work and not
last
get
year,
Last year.
before the end of the
recognition
year,
for
that
it.
we went and toured it,
Oh, was that the end of the
Yeah,
year?
well, we'll find opportunities to maybe.
before I took
highlight that.
office.
Was it?
Yes, sir.
I had a follow-up for Commissioner Fournier about the, Three Cities meeting. Is that recorded? Is that somewhere that we can watch it? Do you know?
No.
It's not
No.
recorded.
Okay.
Not a
I'm
quorum.
supposed to go, I think, but I'm usually not available.
Yeah, you had something else going
You
on, so I went
had
for
building
you.
code council.
Yeah, building council, right.
Is that something I could get an invitation to, or is it like specific
It's
commissioners? that
for
chair and
city
vice chair.
managers,
Mayors,
county managers, mayors, and chairs.
it's not for the respective
And
councils.
Just so you don't feel bad, I got kicked out of it one time before. I don't know if I went and represented you or maybe Bud or something, but something, there'd been a discussion or something and I was
This
not.
particular meeting grew out of.
Might have been vice
the COVID
chair though, and they
pandemic.
kicked me out.
And it was trying to, we were meeting every other week to coordinate our COVID policies. And then when COVID, when that need ended, it just was useful enough that we just kind of kept it going to
And
just.
then the South County version of it started this year because it's an effective, important meeting. So we started doing a similar one for the mayors in South Thurston County.
Yeah, no, it sounded really important. I was writing down the topics you mentioned, and I'm like, these are all things that I have on my list to like learn more about or talk with people about. So if there is ever an opportunity for me to attend, I would love to attend. If that's something, I don't know, if like I could maybe sit in for another commissioner if that's appropriate, but I would love to attend a meeting like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not informational, it's more just kind of like, what are we doing? Like, just to kind of share, yeah, it's like sharing, like, what are you guys doing? Okay, here's what we're doing, like, let's not be acting at cross purposes, or is there an opportunity to do something together, it's those kind of conversations.
And I
There's
got
no presentations of information.
I got a sense that they didn't want, like, we all have a second for other meetings and stuff like that.
Alternates.
They didn't want alternates. They wanted to make sure it was
Well, it's
The
the chair,
mayors or
it's
the chair,
it's a
you know.
chair and the vice chair that
and the
attend.
mayors.
And it's been usually one commissioner, just because of, I just happened to be at an event previously before with Commissioner Fournier. And I knew that Commissioner Menzer was at Building Code Council, and so I just tagged along.
Yeah, I've only gone to 2 of them in Commissioner Mentzer's stead, but like
They're
I
only
know-
I think they only meet quarterly, right?
Yeah,
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna have
they're-
time for more commissioner items after we get done with this agenda, right?
yeah, because I have one.
Okay,
Yeah, these
okay,
are not meetings every month, just
Okay.
quarterly.
Okay, so, yeah, we have commissioner items, but we have the 2 bullet points that are identified, and the first is public defense standards letter.
I want to start by thanking Leah, who's joining us. She'll jump on in just a second. Also Patrick and Rob for working on a response to the Chief Justice. This really came out of some of the comments that were made by commissioners at the meeting that they had here. Again, just appreciate staff's hard work at facilitating that meeting. Amy Davis did a great job there. So I'll pass over to Leah to kind of walk us through the letter and then see if there's any comments. We would like to get this thumbs up on this to get your.
Are there people here that haven't read the letter? Is that it, what you're,
No, everyone is reviewed.
I'm good with it.
Good?
Good.
So Leah did good work, but we don't have to tie her up to.
Perfect. You did
That's
good work,
okay.
and Patrick did good work, and Rob
Yeah.
did good work.
Yeah.
Is there a thumbs up?
All thumbs up.
Great,
Sounds
all
like,
right.
okay.
Well, Amy will work to get your signatures on it, move forward.
All right.
Just throw out a kudos as well to Patrick, just because I think one of the things in terms of this challenge was trying to come up with some creativity for a way to implement, achieve sort of the goals and aspirations, but be mindful of the impacts that
Yeah,
it has. And so kind of delaying it and phasing it differently, I think is really creative, and we'll see what happens when they get a letter.
So much, Patrick.
I
Appreciate
think you
your
guys nailed it, so I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and when you say nailed it, I didn't find one thing wrong.
Put that up on the scoreboard of the.
Well, I mean, you know, a lot of times we'll see a word misspelled or a punctuation not right or something, you know, but.
Good job all around. All right.
Okay, next up then is salary commission letter.
Salary Commission letter, this is just really more for your awareness. If you want to, the Salary Commission meets tonight. Maria sent an email around, giving you a heads up on where the Salary Commission was headed with recommendations. And so, there was some discussion from commissioners about just being prepared for that in light of the budget situation. So there's two drafts before you. One is, so this is really, we're not making a recommendation. We just prepared this information because it was brought to my attention that the commissioners may want to discuss this in light of the budget situation and the fact that the Salary Commission will be meeting tonight. You can do nothing, and the Salary Commission will make the recommendation that you saw in Maria's email about the percentage increases. You can say we don't want any increases, or you can say we only want a COLA increase that's consistent with 3%, or you can give us direction to develop something to send to them, but they do meet tonight. Staff, when they sent this information to me, said that in fiscally challenged times in the past, the commissioners have made decisions to send a letter. It's not staff's recommendation, it's just more of us being prepared and flagging this for your own consideration. And I'll hand back to
Because
you.
you're saying if we wanted to do it, it needs to go out like today.
Yeah.
And so you have a draft, and was this something you prepared?
It was something that Maria had put a sample together, sent the last letter, and then Matthew helped just putting some details together, and then sent it back to Maria for review, and then I took a look at it. So, again, I just, what?
Group effort.
Group effort. Just want to be clear that we're not recommending this. All we're saying is I didn't want to miss something that you guys have talked about in the past, and staff kind of flagged that for me, and I really appreciate them giving me a heads up. So it's really back to you, Chair, for any discussion you want to have.
Well, I don't support sending a letter, but
What's that?
if I did, it's a very well-structured letter. I like the way it's put together. Go ahead, Commissioner Edwards.
I'm thinking we're in the middle of tough budget times, and I'd support the one that says don't do anything. That's where I'm at.
I'm with Commissioner Munster.
I guess I didn't actually hear what you said.
Oh, I just said, I'm not in favor of sending a letter to the Salary Commission.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, they're in the middle of doing this, and we did it once during COVID because I think they didn't know what the heck, we didn't know what the heck we were even facing. To me, that was very unusual and not something that I would typically think to do. You know, we get presentations every year from the auditor, assessor, sheriff, former sheriff about compression and succession planning and all the problems that are, that when you don't have a structure that moves together, it creates problems. And there's no COLAs embedded. Meanwhile, we as a board, whatever the budget situation, we embedded the highest COLAs ever in last year's contracts, and this year's contracts aren't going to be any different. So if we send this kind of direction, we're just digging ourselves out of a bigger hole that can't be fixed. The Salary Commission is the only way to deal with this, so I want to let them do what they're going to do. I also think it would be incredibly demoralizing to ask people that don't even want to serve on this. It's been proven nobody wants to serve on Salary Commission, and when they work all year and you tell them at the 11th hour, oh, forget it. we don't, all your work was for nothing, we're gonna lose, I would quit.
Yeah.
Salary commission, I would absolutely quit if that happened. It's kind of a side consideration, but it's another corollary I see from
Yeah.
sending this kind of direction.
We
And I-
might
and I-
revert back to my deal.
And I think you mentioned, there's been times where things haven't come before you, there's been many years of gap. So I think all of your perspectives are well said.
Yeah, I agree with all the things that Commissioner Menzer just mentioned. You know, when we get the recommendation, there'll be other discussions that come up. But I think the salary commission exists for a reason, and they get information presented to them that I stay out of to let them do their job, and they make recommendations to us, and then we have a conversation. So I'm not in support of sending anything.
Commissioner Klaus, do you have anything?
Well, I mean, this has been an ongoing conversation all year about like the salary commission and the structure and alternatives to the salary commission, and I know it's all really complicated. I agree with kind of what I'm hearing from all of my seatmates. I do agree with Commissioner Edwards about, I mean, I've heard him say throughout the year that like elected officials, knew what the salary was coming into it, and supporting a raise for elected officials. I have a little bit of, I'm reluctant to, supporting raises for elected officials when we're in a budget crisis. But setting that concern aside, I do think that it would be extremely demoralizing at the very end of the year, at the last second, to send a letter like this. I would support conversations about next year we're gonna be starting work on the 2026-2027 budget. And I would support looking at this again. I know we looked at it this year, but I definitely think that prioritizing the community needs over elected officials' salaries is something that I'm in support of. I do also understand the challenges associated with chief deputies and, second in command in some departments or offices not making as much as the elected official, and how that doesn't incentivize, a chief deputy, for example, in the auditor's office, to ever run for auditor if they chose to, or we have that issue. And I think that that's a valid concern too. But there's just, I don't know, there's arguments on both sides that I agree with. I would be in support of sending a letter if the majority of the board was in support of it. But since it doesn't sound like we're quite there, I won't get into detail. I do appreciate staff for drafting these letters. And as Commissioner Fournier said, there will be more discussion when we get the recommendation. And I think at that point, I'll have my comments when we get to that point. But at this time, I guess I'll just go with the majority. But I do want to just kind of state, I do have concerns about elected official salaries going up when we're looking at a budget crisis like what we're in now.
Sounds like you have direction not
Yeah.
for no action.
No problem. Just want to make sure you had all
Other
available.
commissioner items, let's move on to the last piece of the agenda. I know Commissioner Mahoney said you had one.
Yeah, thank you. So we received public comment last week from Kimberly Kelly in regards to Burfoot Park expansions. And I'm hoping that the board can have a conversation maybe with Public Works about like what that looks like in an overall sense, because I did get an email today from her asking if there was going to be a response to her public comment. And so I'm trying to
Yeah, we
kind
can,
of get the board into a conversation about this and what it looks like, and of course, getting Public Works input on this.
Do we have anything in writing from her? Or?
Yes.
Okay,
She did submit.
we did. I saw
yeah,
that.
Yeah,
yeah, I can talk to Public Works and then inform the board on how to facilitate that conversation and what that looks like.
awesome, thank you. Taylor, thank you.
Yeah, I was pretty interested in what she had just to say. I hadn't heard that proposal, but it looked like something we should discuss. Okay, other commissioner items. Commissioner Edwards, did you have one?
Have we got anything new on vouchers or anything? I know that TC Connect is still holding things up. Is that what's going on?
got a whole bunch at the end of last week that came
Yeah.
through from the auditor's office.
Stuff, and I believe all the commissioners were on that.
I don't know, usually they come through for signature or
Yeah,
something.
there, I think the log jam is working its way out. I think, the attachments were the missing reports for the last while. So things are flowing again.
So it's coming around.
Yes.
I have no other.
How about, anybody else got something?
Nope, second, you're up again.
The auditor's email that we just got in. Are we making headway on who's on first or what's going on there?
Which one?
Anything new on that?
When did the email come in?
Well, let's see.
From the auditor or?
No.
About the
Is it
status of our MOU, is that what we're
Yeah,
talking about?
yeah. And
Oh, yeah, we'll be moving that conversation forward.
Is that an email everyone was included on?
Yes.
Okay, I don't see it. When was it sent?
No,
just a minute, no, maybe tell you here. At a
You know?
disadvantage today.
um,
It was, the information from the presentation like a week ago.
I see a public safety sales tax one, but, oh, I
And
think
it had
it's-
to do with public safety sales tax.
Okay.
That was one of the things on there. I don't think it was just to me.
I'm not.
You're drawing a blank, huh?
The net result is what I remember is that there was some revisions made that you were gonna follow up and discuss with the auditor's office, and then we would discuss it as a board. It's coming.
It's coming. I think we're talking about two different things
Oh,
now,
okay.
though. I think we're talking about MOU and we're talking about MOE.
Yeah,
MOE, yeah, that's different.
Public safety sales tax.
Yeah, it did have to do with the MOE, with the.
Not the MOU, or the
Yeah.
IOU?
So then, so then you're talking about
Yeah,
the
different.
notes that Diana Benson sent
Yes,
out.
that's what, it was from
To-
Diana, I guess
Okay,
it was,
yes.
rather than
Okay.
from
That was
Mary.
her summary of what she.
I guess that's what it was.
Yes,
So I'm sorry, I
a lot of
didn't
stuff in
clarify that.
irons in the fire, so I'm not sure how to speak to it. So yeah, Diana, appreciate her commitment to responding to requests from the board to get it in writing. She did that and we forwarded on to you. We're still, I think we made a lot of progress the last time we all met on the MOE. We'll be meeting with the auditor and the sheriff to talk about how we're going to be accounting for the back end of it. And once we have that meeting, we'll look to schedule something with the full board and the sheriff, auditor, and the other departments to talk it through.
How about Maria's information about something to do with minimum wage or something gonna have an impact? Are we having something coming on that? Well, I don't know, I got it this
I got an
afternoon.
email about something or
noon.
something else. Like there was a thing that I saw.
Well, I got it at noon, and I thought maybe something was percolating that she sent it out.
Happy to talk with you offline and get you up to speed on emails that have been sent.
Okay, so I was trying to catch up and probably got ahead of it. That's very possible. You went through that as well? Okay. I just wondered if there was additional information that was gonna be talked about, that's all. No, I think we're okay.
Tomorrow morning, 9 AM, agenda setting, and then we don't have a planning session,
Right,
so we'll just be here from 9 till whenever we finish our agenda setting.
correct.
Okay, if there's nothing further, we'll see everybody tomorrow. We're adjourned.